This video is about how to start a side hustle while working your 9 to 5. And I'm going to share with you just about my story and what I did to create really three different side hustles, if not more, while still keeping my 9 to 5. And so this is for anyone who is saying, I don't really want to quit my job, but I do want to make additional money, or I may want to quit my job, but I don't want to do it until I have that extra money coming in. There is a fad right now of people to say, hey, we're going to just quit our jobs right now and do what we love. But in reality, whether you're doing it because of safety reasons, like you have a family, security reasons, you want to make sure that you are financially secure before you make that jump, then that makes a lot of sense. And so for me personally, I'm a pastor and I love what it is that I do at my job. I enjoy serving, I enjoy the church that I'm at, I enjoy the people who are here. And so with the side hustles I created, I did not create them out of, oh, I hate my job so much, I just need to do something else. I created them because although I enjoy what I'm doing, I know that God has placed more gifts inside of me that I wanted to do for fun. And so for me, these side hustles were almost like a hobby where I was able to go and create these. So when you look at my full-time job, and so I'm going to go into that first just in case anybody's like, yeah, well, you don't really work that hard or have to do that much, right? So I talk about being a pastor. Even when I talk about this to my wife, she said, well, what does a pastor do? Like, what do you do all week, right? We get on Sundays, right? On Sundays, we have three worship celebrations in the morning. So I get here at 6 something in the morning, usually around 6:45 in the morning, and then I get to leave around 2 p.m., usually about 1:30 or 2 p.m. So Sundays, I'm here, I'm working, everyone sees me, and I'm white. But then people say, well, what else do you do during the week? And so for me, we're in the office on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We have meetings every day scheduled when we come in. We have emails, we're planning, we're preparing. We have a large staff of full-time people that are collaborating, and it takes a lot for a church of this size and this scope. And so when I am at work, I am working and working hard. And in fact, most of the teams that I lead or people that volunteer for the church do not work here full time. And so we have a lot of meetings on in the evenings and things like that. And then anyone who's associated with the church or go to a church, especially a large church, you know that there are events just about every other weekend, right? And so most days I'm working 5 days a week, or most weeks I'm working 5 days a week, but my hours exceed that 40-hour limit by far. I'm on salary, so that's perfectly fine, but I put in way more than 40 hours, probably 50 to 60 hours a week at this job. And so what I did was I created side hustles on top of that. And so some people look at it like they have a busy schedule, so you can't do it. And some people believe, well, I'm too busy to do it. Well, how do I get the time? And so for me, my wife, she works full time as a physician. And so her schedule is busy as well. During this time that I've created these side businesses, we've had 2 kids under 2. Right now, my daughter is actually a little over 2.5. My son's a little over 1.5, but I've been at this for well over a year. And so we've had 2 kids under 2, and just going and taking care of them. And during this time, I was able to start this YouTube channel where I've uploaded a video just every single week for the past year plus, right? And in addition to this YouTube video, I also wrote a book, Make Money Make Sense. And so I wrote the book. And then, in addition to writing the book, then I actually plan, prepare, and strategize to have financial seminars that I'm able to go to churches and do financial seminars. And so I have the first one coming up, I believe, in about a month. And so with that, you can see that things are busy. There's a lot going on. I wrote a book or a workbook, I have a seminar going on. I do speaking engagements. I do my job as a pastor at the church. I have a wife, I have kids, I have all these things going on. Yet still, I was able to do my side hustles. And so let that be an encouragement to you or anyone who feel like, oh, I'm just so busy, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you how in this video. And so when you look at it, for me, I feel like I'm at that position where things are about to take off, just like a rocket, right? I feel like I've put in the preparation for it. My YouTube channel, at the time that I'm recording this, I think I have a few over 960 followers, and my goal was to initially get to that $1,000. I mean, $1,000, that 1,000 member subscribe, or that's 1,000 subscriber level, where I could get to 1,000 people subscribe to the channel. And so that was one of my goals, to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I knew that from watching YouTube videos, people, when they talked about, oh, if you want to get monetized and you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and most people don't hit this until they've been doing YouTube consistently for about a year. And I've been doing it probably just about a month over a year. So I'm right on pace where I'm supposed to be with that. And then the books are getting, so I believe that the YouTube channel is going to start taking off. In addition to that, with the book, I'm getting to the point where people are wanting me to come and sell the books in bulk. I'm not talking about one or two or three books. Come to places where I could sell two, three, 400 books at one time. And so the doors are opening up where I'm able to sell the books in large batches at one time. In addition to that, now the seminars are open up where I'm being asked to come and speak about financial literacy to churches and things like that. So I just booked my first seminar, and I have another couple lined up that we're going to book for this year as well. So if you look at it, that's why I say I was able to start three different side hustles. If you look at the book, you look at the seminar and this YouTube channel, there's three of them at one time. And so that's something that's been beneficial and something that's been good. And so if you're watching this, it's because you want to get started with some side hustles, but you don't know if you have the time and you don't know how. And so I'm going to help you in this video, which is saying the 7 different things that I really learned that helped me to be able to start these side hustles. And the first one for me is planning. I am a planner. I over plan, I over prepare, but I like to be prepared I'd rather be prepared than surprised, right? And so when I look at what it is that I did, is I mapped all of this out before I even got started. So before I shot my first YouTube video, before I wrote the first sentence on the pages for my book, before I typed them out, and before I pitched my first seminar, before all of this, it probably was a year and a half ago, I sat down and I planned and I prepared. I said, what is the end goal? And so if you want to be successful with a side hustle, the first thing you're going to have to do is plan. Some people like just starting stuff. They think, oh, I want to do this, so I'm just going to jump in and start it. And when you do it that way, most times, 9 times out of 10, it probably won't go anywhere. because there was not a big, robust plan behind it. So, with my strategy, I knew that I wanted to help with financial literacy. So, one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to create a YouTube channel. But I said, okay, I want to be able to help people beyond just videos. Some people learn through videos, other people like learning through books. So then I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a book as well that's a complement to my video. So anyone who watches my videos, then they can go and purchase my book if they would like, because I know at some point I'll get to 1,000 followers. And I knew at one point eventually I'll get to 10,000 and eventually 100,000. And I said, okay, so people can watch my videos and then they can go and they can buy my book as a resource. And in addition to the videos and the books, me being a pastor, me being a preacher, I knew that there would be a lot of churches and a lot of places that would like me to come and speak about financial literacy, because churches do not have a lot of resources teaching them about financial literacy. There are some really good resources out there, but I feel like God was navigating me to do something with a unique group of people that would benefit from it. And so the way I approach it is in a way others don't approach it. And so I knew that. So then I wanted to create seminars. So before I wrote my first sentence for the page, before I shot my first video, I said, look, I'm thinking with the end in mind. After a year, what I want to do is I want to have YouTube video. I want to be able to have a book, and I want to start these seminars where I could go and teach about financial literacy and financial stewardship. So by me going and having this end in mind, I was able to set SMART goals that's specific, that's measurable, that's attainable, that's relevant, and that is time bound. And so for the YouTube channel, one of my goals was to say, okay, in 1 year, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a great goal. And so I've been at it about 13 months. Like I said, I have about 960 followers. By the time you're watching this video, it may be a little bit more. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to give myself that goal, that timeline, that number to be able to reach and accomplish. I told myself by the end of 2024 that I would be doing seminars, and so I have my first seminars on the books, and I have those dates set, and then I wanted to go and have a certain amount of books sold. So I'm on that trajectory to hit those numbers of books sold. So if you're looking at how to start a side hustle, the first thing I would say is look at the overall vision, and not just overall vision, but let's look at the financial aspect of it. One thing when I was looking at YouTube videos, what it spoke about is YouTube is really a platform for marketing and selling, right? And so when people watch YouTube videos, then there's always videos trying to get you to buy something or sign up for something or things like that. So I already know that in creating a YouTube video, you also want to have a product that you can go and also have that people can purchase that will help you increase income, and it will help you to be able to help them. And so I wanted something from YouTube, get me promotion. I have my books, which is a product, and then I have my seminars, so which is where I can go and teach large groups of people at once. I could teach hundreds or thousands of people all at once, and then those people would be inspired to purchase books, to look at the YouTube channel, and they all flow like a financial ecosystem where people who go to the seminar want to buy the book, people who want to buy the book want to go to the seminar, people who watch the YouTube channels, as they get value from them, then they'll say, oh, well, maybe we want to buy the book too, right? And they all work together to create this financial ecosystem. And so oftentimes when people create a business, they create a business or a side hustle of something they enjoy, something they're passionate about, or something they're good at, but they don't look at the financial implications of what they're doing, of how they will actually generate income and what are the things that they can do to help them to generate more income. Because the more income you have, the more successful your side hustles will be able to be, because you'll have the resources to be able to pour into them. And so the first one is a plan. The second one is hard work. Starting a side hustle is hard work. There have been nights I've been up till 2, 3 a.m. and I like being in bed by 10. If I get in bed by 9, I'm happy. But usually we get the kids down by 9. I'm able to get to bed by 10. But it's nights I'm staying up till 2 a.m., going to sleep for a couple hours, waking up at 5 a.m. and finishing up what I was doing. So my off days for me right now, there are no off days. It's, I have to look at what I do as a hobby. Writing a book has to become a hobby. Shooting this YouTube video, this channel, it has to become a hobby. If it is not a hobby, if I don't look at it as a hobby, if I'm not enjoying it like a hobby, then I'll quickly get burnt out. Why? Because it can get discouraging, right? You're doing all this hard work and you're not seeing a payoff. And so, what I encourage you to know is whatever you do, you have to count the cost, because it will be challenging and it will be hard. But if you are in it for the long haul, then you can do it and you can be successful. And the reason that I say it's hard work is because there's a lot of people who want to do the same thing that you're doing, or a lot of people who want to do the same thing that you want to do. And so if you're competing against all of these people, then you have to be willing to work hard, at least initially, to get it off the ground. Once it gets off the ground, you may have to work harder. It could get a lot easier, just depending on how you set it up. But for me, I've definitely had to work hard. Another thing that's vital is patience. When you're starting a side hustle, starting a business, you have to be patient. Things do not happen overnight. Things are not as easy as you think they'll be. They're not as fast as you'll think they'll be. They don't go as smooth as you think they'll go. And so for me, like I said, I've been at this for a year and a half, and I'm just now starting to see the financial benefits. This year, I'll actually break even probably from all the money I spend on lights and cameras and computers and everything that I've gotten. This year will just be a break even year from me from a financial perspective. And hopefully next year is when I'll have my windfall. Next year is when I say it was worth it. All that work that I've done for 2 years without seeing any income, without, getting any compensation, it finally paid off. And so with that, I would just encourage you to know that if you're starting a side hustle, you're going to need patience. And patience is also long suffering. Patience is also endurance. And so for me, it's like, well, I'm going to record a YouTube video. Do I always feel like recording a YouTube video on my day off? No, not necessarily. Did I really wake up this morning saying, yes, I'm so excited to go record a YouTube video that a lot of people may or may not look at, right? You may not necessarily be excited about that, but you still do it. Even this video, 18 minutes in, for example, 18 minutes in, I just looked at my screen to see if there's anyone on this live video, and there's no one on. There's 0 people on. There's not one person on. I'm doing a live and not one person is on. Maybe somebody clicked on earlier, maybe someone will click on later. But with that, you can't be discouraged. You have to be patient, and you have to talk to that zero people watching, just like you'll talk to 1,000 people who are watching. Because who knows, after I upload this, it could go viral. Chances are it won't go viral, but even if it won't go viral, this is preparing me. This is the stage of patience where you keep doing it until you have success in what it is that you're doing. So you will not always immediately see the results of the work that you're putting in, but as long as you are taking the right steps in the right directions, then the results are coming. Now, being an entrepreneur, starting a side hustle, starting a business, writing a book, starting a YouTube, whatever it is you want to do, it will take time. But if you have patience, then you will be able to be successful. Another thing that's been really helpful for me in my journey is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is AI from OpenAI. It's like Google's Gemini, but it's artificial intelligence. I would not be able to get all of the things done that I'm able to get done if I did not have AI. AI is like having a personal assistant. So when I need to send out emails, when I need to send out different memos, when I need to write things, when I need to do research, when I need to learn a concept really quickly, if I'm writing and I want the writing to come out smoother and better, then I always go to ChatGPT. It's a resource I use every day. And like I said, I believe that artificial intelligence can help level the playing field for people. It used to be, if I want to write a book, I know when I went through my doctorate of ministry program and I wrote my doctoral project, this big, huge, 100-page document, like this big, huge document that I had to pay someone to go and actually edit it and make sure it was formatted right, and check all my grammatical errors and punctuation and things like that. But I'm glad that now there's a resource that I can put my information into, and they'll check all the grammar and punctuation and things like that. And so I would encourage you, if you're not using any form of AI, it'll help you exponentially with any field of business that you want to go into. And when you start wanting to research, bounce your ideas, see if it's a good idea, get thoughts, know what books you should read or what tools or resources you should be pointed to, then AI, it helps out a lot. Something else that'll help you to be successful is great mentors, right? Y- You don't know what you don't know. The way that you learn it is to get around people that do know it. That's why it's important to have great mentors that are on your side. They'll help you to be able to avoid the mistakes that they made, and your learning will just grow exponentially. You'll be able to learn so much from a mentor that will help you to be able to be successful. And so that's something that people always overlook. I say, what happens if you could only be as successful as your most successful mentor? Then people will say, well, I'll get the most successful mentor that I can, right? And that's exactly what you want to do. Your mentor could open up doors, opportunities, give you knowledge, and teach you many things. So you want to make sure that you get the best mentors that you can, not just anybody mentoring you, but getting mentors who are at a space that you want to get to in the future. Next, what's been vital is learning. You have to learn information, but you have to learn the right information. The Bible talks about how if the blind lead the blind, then they both fall into the ditch. Everybody will fall into the ditch if the blind lead the blind. There are so many bad resources out there, so many mediocre resources out there, but there are a handful of exceptional resources out there. And once you find the exceptional resources, then that'll help you to take things to a next level. One thing I've learned about YouTube is that most successful YouTubers that I find are only copycats. All they do is copycat what other people are doing and remix their videos. And there's only a couple people in the industry, or a couple people in each category or demographic, that are really given the transformational good, just great information. And then you have a bunch of people who are copycatting them, right? So if you're on YouTube, you want to make sure that you're learning the right information and not just learning information. Reading books are great. You want to make sure you read the top books, the best books, to help you to be able to grow your side businesses exponentially. If you're listening to podcasts, you want to listen to the right podcast. So you want to put yourself around the right people, around the right resources, so you can learn the right information, so you'll be pointed in the right direction. I just think about so many transformational books that I've read, and you'll read some books that'll blow your mind. You just have to first be in a place where you are getting the right information. And lastly, what I will say is support. I could not do what I do if I did not have a good support group around me. My wife has been a great support. Whenever I've needed to accomplish something or do something, she's been in my corner. She's been on my side. She's been encouraging me, anything that's needed with the kids that I'm not able to do because I have a deadline or a meeting, or I'm trying to get something done. And she always steps in and knocks it out. If I did not have her support, none of what I do would be possible, because, every time I try to do something, it would be a fight or argument or something, but she's understanding and supportive. And it's the same with everyone at the church that I'm a part of. They're supportive in what it is that I do, which makes a world of difference, that encouragement and that support. So get you a good support system as well. So if you enjoyed this video, then watch the other videos on this channel, which are all about financial literacy, to help you to be able to thrive financially.